One-star TurboGrafx 16 games. Now, I had a TurboGrafx 16 during the console wars. People were either about Nintendo or they were about Sega, and I had them both, and a TurboGrafx 16, because I loved them all. So I perused a few forums to find out what people considered were the worst games on the TurboGrafx 16, and let's see if we can either solidify them as, yes, a one-star game, and there's a few games on here that I can probably defend as well. And what are your favorite TurboGrafx 16 games? Because I'm going to do a 5-star TurboGrafx 16 video very soon. Let me know in the comments. Up first, a game called Ballistics. Now, I didn't have this when I was growing up, but I was familiar with it. This game just looks insane as far as how many moving sprites are on screen at any given time. You're supposed to put that little black orb into the opponent's dealio. Kind of like ice hockey, but you're shooting all these other random balls. Now, you're always facing the direction of wherever the ball in play is, the orb, the black sphere there. And again, it just plays kind of like an ice hockey where you just have to keep on blasting your balls to hopefully get yours to go in the opponent's thing so you can score the points. A lot like ice hockey where sometimes you just like pink and you're just like, what happened? Did I lose? Did I win? What happened? Like, you don't even see it happen. It's going so fast. I mean, I could see how this could be a one-star game. It's certainly not for me, but on the TurboGrafx 16, we can call this a one-star game. It's just insane. China Warrior, oof. Now, this title screen doesn't look so bad. And then when you realize that the character from the title screen is your in-game graphics, it just looks silly. This looks like a fan-made project on Macromedia Flash back in like 2004. That's not saying much. This game is an auto-scrolling beat-em-up? I wouldn't even know what to classify this as outside of one star. A little bit like a Kung Fu, you have to, you know, kick the things out of the way so you don't take the damage and all that. It just looks off. It just looks not all there. Almost like an unpublished prototype, and there's a few games on this list that will look like that too. This one probably being the most notable. I mean, it has boss battles, huh? And the boss battles are just you kicking the other person as much as you can. Oh, the worst part about this game is when you complete the first stage, you have to move on to the second stage. It doesn't just say, game over, you win, get your money back, take it back to the start. No, it's, you actually have to keep playing. Well, you don't have to keep playing, but this game encourages you to. All right, a rock in the head, that suits me fine. Somebody mentioned Crater Maze with a one-star game, and I'm here to say no, kind sir. But let's look at Crater Maze just for a moment, because there are a few people, I saw this pop up a few times as people not caring for this game. This style of game has existed already in the past. You have your overworld map, you create your hole that the enemy falls into, and you can either bury it, and I love the fact that when you bury an enemy in this hole, it creates a little memorial for him. It's a little crazy, a little out there, but okay. And it's just a one-button thing. Hole, no hole. In other games, you have to dig the hole, dig the hole, dig the hole, and then bury the hole, bury the hole, bury the hole. And if it did that for this game, it may have given it more of a challenge. Not that this game isn't challenging enough later levels, but it's that classic arcade style too, where you just collect all the items and then get the key and then move through the door, and then you move on to the next stage. I don't think it's a one-star game at all, but I want to include it in this list because there are a few people who do say it's a one-star game. I say, if you haven't played it yet, check it out for yourself. I think it's actually kind of fun. Oh god, Darkwing Duck. Now, this falls under the criteria of Disney video games are typically very good. Unfortunately for the TurboGrafx 16, not the case. And Darkwing Duck, probably the biggest letdown, because Darkwing Duck was so cool. It was that, you know, there was the after-school lineup that had, you know, all these great shows and everything like that, and Darkwing Duck just seemed to have a little bit more edge than, say, a Tailspin or a DuckTales or something like that. It just seemed to have that little bit of extra attitude or something. I can't explain it. I can't. But it was awesome, and I loved it, and I loved the cartoon and everything. And the NES game, fantastic. TurboGrafx 16 game, not so fantastic. You're picking up these puzzle pieces, you watch out for the enemies and stuff like that. I mean, I do kind of like the enemy select screen. I thought that was kind of fun. But really, the game itself, no. Come on, no. No. Yeah, it's a one-star game for sure. Deep Blue, I keep seeing pop up, not just as one of the one-star games, but the ultimate one-star game. A lot of these lists see Deep Blue is the worst game on the TurboGrafx 16. And how could it be the worst game? It's a shooter. And the TurboGrafx 16 is known for its fantastic shooters. Like, that's one of the things that the TurboGrafx 16 like excels at, is all these great shooters, and you have Deep Blue that just kind of doesn't really go anywhere. It just looks like this the whole time. It's hard to care After a while, like you just keep playing and you're just like, okay, so what's happening next? Is there anything going to change? Is something going to happen? Maybe? No? Yes? No? No? Okay. Well, there you go. It's Deep Blue, a 1-star game for the TurboGrafx 16. And there I go. Finn, is that a pun? Well, Falcon is next, and this title screen actually looks pretty sweet. Oh, it's one of these kind of games. Okay, yikes. Well, I mean, if this was like Game Boy Color, is this Game Boy Color? Fantastic. Oh, wait, no, it's TurboGrafx 16? Okay, well, doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, Flight Sim, you can do that for systems like this. Yeah, 8-bit, 16-bit, doesn't matter. You can make a pretty great Flight Sim looking like this, for sure. However, it also has to be fun. And this game is almost neither. It's certainly not fun. Alright, Falcon is a 1-star game, I'll give it that for sure. In the world of purchasing these classic games physically, Moto Rotor is typically one of the cheapest games you can purchase. You might see this at most conventions for the least amount, like $5 or whatever it goes for, you know. And buying TurboGrafx 16 nowadays is a rich man's sport, but you might find Moto Rotor, you're just like, well, it can't be that bad, it's $5, right? Well, when you first play it, it's not great. Because you're slow, you're sluggish, you're in the you're never in the lead. You just keep going, and then you have to stay on screen at all times, and if you leave the screen, then it pulls you back to the middle of the screen. Man, if you had a way to actually accelerate your car, that wouldn't be bad. But the good thing is, here, let's finish this lap, and the funny thing is, I was right near the end, and it pulls me in the middle. Hey, I got second place, perfect. That's an easy one. I sucked the whole time and I still came in second. Well, with that money, you can buy upgrades. And you can, build up your car and everything like that. Now, when you get a new shell for your car, like when you get a new make and model or whatever, then all the enemies do that too, because they're sharing the same sprites, is the same thing as RC Pro-Am, and you can get upgrades. And when you get those upgrades, it actually makes the game a little bit better. 1-star game? I don't think so. 2-star game? Perhaps. Maybe. But it's not a 1-star game. I don't think it's a 1-star game at all. But you do have to kind of want to get into it. It's not great, but I think it's worth checking out, at least for a little bit. Oh, we're going to put a golf game on here, are we? Well, we'll see about that. Okay, well, first of all, there's me. Okay, I'll take that. It's a nice hat. How can you call this a 1-star game? It's a golf game, and it plays like any of these other NES 8-bit style golf games. Not that I'm very, well, okay, well, I need to pay attention to the wind, first of all. But these aren't typically terrible. I mean, they're kind of worth looking at or playing through for a little bit. I wouldn't call this a 1-star game. Again, it might be a 2-star game because it is very simple. But again, I saw Power Golf show up a few times, and it's like, let's give it a shot, benefit of the doubt. I'm not the biggest golf fanatic as far as video games go, but this one, it's middle ground. Sonic Spike, World Championship Beach Volleyball. That's a whole lot of words there. Now, I was a big fan of Kings of the Beach. I was a big fan of Super Spike V-Ball, for the both of them for the NES. And this one I thought could be a little bit like that too. It's funny that it's called Yellow Court and not Sand Court. Anyway. So when you play the 2-on-2 beach volleyball game, unfortunately, it just looks like it's stuttering. It looks like the frames of animation are missing. And you're not hitting the button like the way you should or want to because of that animation and how everything is like super choppy in this game. So unfortunately, yes, I would also give this game a 1-star. Not great. I mean, you can find the fun in it, but while you're playing this, you may as well play another volleyball game. Not this one. No thanks. Taking it to the hoop. From NEC, okay. This was their answer to like a double dribble. Of course it was. Of course it was. You have to have a great arcade-style basketball game. Shout out to the fact that there are only 8 cities to choose from. One of them is Seattle, and Seattle doesn't even have a basketball team anymore, so I'll take that. We had one back then, but anyway. I do like that it looks a little bit cartoony. I don't like the fact that I'm not really telling who I am at any given time. Your character will start flashing. That's how you choose who you are. But not very intuitive and not very fun. Now, it is kind of cool that you can, if you're going for the slam dunk, there is a ability to either swat it away or slam it in there, timing based and all that too. That was kind of fun. That's okay. But still, it's not a great basketball game. It really isn't. It's a 1-star game, taking it to the hoop. Again, you might find this cheap too. Another one of those like cheapest games you'll find at conventions. Add it to the collection? Sure, maybe. But it's not worth playing for too long, in my opinion, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to defend Tailspin forever on the TurboGrafx 16. Now, it's not, you played for the first time now, and it's not so great. Not so great. 4 stages to choose from. You get a 5th stage once you do those 4. On your way, somebody says, hey, since you're saving the world, go ahead and pick up extra stuff while you're there. Isn't that like real life? So we have these stages, and you just kind of, you throw coconuts, or later on you maybe throw something else too. And I'll be first to admit, this is not the greatest action platformer. It's not the greatest run-in coconut game. I wouldn't even know what to classify this as. It's just a cartoony, side-scrolling platformer, I suppose. And yes, I'm seeing this game through nostalgia goggles because I owned this game way back in the day. So back then, I only had the games I could play, and I'll just play them all the time. And this is one of those games I would just say, well, I guess I'm going to play through Tailspin because I just came home from school and stuff. But you have like a little different variety during the stages. Like you can do like, you know, one of the stages has, you know, snowballs and stuff like that too. Again, it's not a great game, but I'll tell you this, it's better than the NES game of Tailspin. I don't think it's a 1-star game. And if you do, that's fine. And let me know in the comments too. I'm okay with everyone else thinking this is a 1-star game. It's not a 1-star game for me. Oh, sweet, I love Tom Cruise. Oh no, Time Cruise, okay. Pinball, video pinball. Well, 1-star, I don't know if I would consider this a 1-star either. Well, you know what, it's hard to say. It's a decent-ish video pinball game, and I do love me some video pinball. The problem is, on the TurboGrafx 16, we already had Devil's Crush, we had Alien Crush, we did, what, Time Crush? This isn't Time Crush, this is Time Cruise. And it's a just super generic video pinball game. And no, it does have a side area too, trying to make it like, you know, science fiction fancy and stuff like that. No, you didn't need to. You didn't need to. And you also didn't need to make this. We already had Alien Crush, we already had Devil's Crush. What else would Nintendo not get away with? I don't know, Religion Crush? Maybe not that, but... Alright, what's next? Oh dear lord, I already don't like this game. Any game that does the slow moving, fill the thing, move the whatever, and slide puzzle at the same time, starts out the easiest game of all time, and then quickly turns into the most painstakingly irritating game of all time. Time Ball is that. Time Ball is that. And I don't hate it. No, this is, okay, now... So you can see me doing the gameplay footage here, and I'm just playing the... I have played this game before in the past. I used to have the import version of this. The import was called a Bloodia or something like that. I'm not kidding. I kind of like this game. This is definitely a 1-star game. I don't know how else I can describe it. I played this game actually a little bit as Blodia. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But Time Ball, again, this is the US version. This is the version that we got here in the US. I kind of like this game. It is 100% a 1-star game for every reason. But I still like to play this game, not every once in a while. I haven't even looked. This is the first time I've played this game in probably a few years. But I am familiar with this game, and it's, oof, man. The title screen, if you can get past the title screen, as soon as you saw the title screen, I wish I had a heart monitor to you watching these videos, because as soon as you saw that title screen, your heart started palpitating already. I know it did. It started percolating. Like, no, I can't. I just can't. That's this game. You want to check out some more 1-star games from some of your favorite consoles? Check out the links. We'll see you soon. And let me know on those 5-star TurboGrafx 16 games, because we'll do that video coming up.